When news broke that Cyclone Vance was bearing down on the West Australian coast with a Force 5 ferocity, more powerful than Tracy, it made everyone sit up and take notice, including cameraman Geoff Mackley, a man who travels the world waiting to film such disasters. In a minute we'll talk to this committed storm chaser. But first, here's Neil Mercer with the remarkable footage Geoff shot as the eye of Cyclone Vance passed within 15 kilometres of Exmouth in the far west.
This is the eye of the storm. Cyclone Vance unleashing its fury, with winds of more than 250 kilometres an hour hitting the coast of Western Australia around noon yesterday, devastating the town of Exmouth.
We could hear the noise going on outside, but all you could sort of see outside was about 2 feet in front. It was just sideways rain, just pelting against everything.
Oh, devastation. The winds, you've just got no idea.
More than 100 houses were destroyed, hundreds more were damaged. As cyclones go, it was one of the most powerful, a Category 5 storm. Indeed, authorities had been bracing for a repeat of Cyclone Tracy in 1974, which killed 60 people. But somehow, the people of Exmouth survived. No one was killed, although one man is still missing. Cyclone Vance also brought floods hundreds of kilometres to the south in the town of Mora, leaving residents like 88-year-old Graham Sutherland distraught.
I thought I might get 4 inches through my house, but I got 2'6". Kerry's my niece, and she rang my daughter.
And you had to tell her?
Nothing you can do.
Late today in Exmouth, residents started returning to their homes, or what remained of them.
Well, it looks like the Easter Bunny's not going to make it into Exmouth either.
Geoff Mackley, a storm chaser, that sounds like something out of the film Twister.
Yeah, no, the storm twister, if you were to shoot a movie on real-life storm chasing, it would be 90% getting nothing and 10% of action, so it would be a very boring movie.
What exactly does a storm chaser do?
Well, basically what I do is I spend a lot of time on the internet tracking major storms as they develop around the world, and when one looks like it's heading towards a populated area, I will do whatever it takes to get in its path before it hits.
So that's obviously how you heard about Cyclone Vance, and you got onto it straight away.
When I heard that Cyclone Vance was heading towards Australia, I checked with a few weather experts that I'm friends with. They confirmed that this was indeed going to happen, so I came over to Australia immediately, arrived at Port Hedland and drove all the way to Exmouth in the dark and arrived here just before the cyclone hit.
Geoff, you go to some extraordinary lengths to capture vision of the storms. I've heard that you were even hanging by a rope outside your hotel room to get vision of Cyclone Vance.
Well, no, the wind speed was so strong that in order to go outside and do a report, I had to tie a rope to the hotel and go outside to avoid being blown away.
Of course, this is very serious and very dangerous for the people who are there. How does this compare from other storms you've seen around the world?
Okay, well, I've seen a lot of storms over the years, but this would be by far the worst. You know, a Category 5 storm is one of the most powerful weather events on the planet, so it's a very, very dangerous thing. To be outside unprotected, you would almost certainly be killed.
What sort of damage have you seen so far?
Well, soon after the storm abated yesterday, I went out for a drive around Exmouth with one of the local people, and the damage was just catastrophic. There were whole streets that looked more like a war zone than a street in Exmouth.
How are the people coping with it?
Well, yesterday when I went out, the storm had only just subsided, and a lot of people were out there really in stunned disbelief. There were people standing there hugging, crying, and just really shaking their heads that such a catastrophe could happen here.
Well, you stick with it and look after yourself there, Geoff. Again, thank you for talking to us.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, extraordinary scenes, weren't they? Very tough for the people of Exmouth. Storm chaser Geoff Mackley there.